So that's just the Vadishin. And current events have given me a perfect opportunity to talk about Israel and the Israel-Palestine situation in general. Something that I kind of want to talk about for a while now, but now, because of the incident that happened on May 31st, I got a perfect opportunity to talk about it. So for those of you who don't know what the incident is, basically what happened is that a ship wanted to bring supplies to the blockaded Gaza Strip. The Israelis have blockaded this Gaza Strip, and these guys on this humanitarian mission wanted to bring some supplies to the Gaza Strip, like food and water and stuff like that. But they had some stuff on the ship that was deemed as dual use kind of by the Israeli military, stuff that you couldn't bring into Gaza because it could be used for military purposes. Stuff like, I know concrete is one of them. And they wouldn't let the ship pass because it had some supplies that the Israeli military deemed couldn't come into the Gaza Strip. And they blockaded the Gaza Strip because they want to stop rockets from flying out of that strip into Israel. Anyway, so the Israeli Navy kind of comes out, meets the ship, and then a bunch of Israeli commandos kind of rappel onto the ship and board it and end up killing 9 people. And because of this, basically a huge, I don't want to use the word shitstorm, but I can't really think of a more simple and more appropriate way to describe what's happening. Has happened. The Israelis are saying, it was good on these soldiers to do this, and next time we're going to use more force and kill more people if they try and come in and bring this, and they're praising them and calling them heroes and calling the people bringing supplies terrorists. Turkey is freaking out. Turkey is saying that the next time that they're going to, because as far as I know that these people on this mission were Turkish, so Turkey's freaking out and saying that if next time they're going to send some supplies, they're bringing the Turkish Navy with them. All of a sudden, Turkey was one of Israel's best allies in the region, has just deteriorated. Now they're kind of, there might be a little bit of a war possibly brewing in the background because of this situation. And personally, I think the Israelis could not have handled it any worse. I think it would be hard pressed to find a worse way for them to have handled it. Like, if they had just, guided the ships into port, we wouldn't be talking about this. Turkey wouldn't be freaking out. All the propaganda all these people against Israel wouldn't have gotten this propaganda from this incident, making Israel look like a bully, making it look like they're killing innocent people. So now all of a sudden the other side has all this propaganda to use against them, and the Israelis aren't apologizing for it. They're praising the guys who did it as heroes, saying that next time we're going to use more force. And it's just, like I said, a shitstorm. Personally, like I said, don't think the Israelis could have handled it in any worse way. In any worse way. But that kind of brings us to the whole issue, doesn't it? Because now the world's eyes are focused in on this Israeli-Palestine issue. And like I said, the whole sort of Gaza Strip, where the Palestinians are, has been blockaded because of terrorist activities. And the Israelis are kind of making these people suffer, they're hurting them, so on and so forth. And in a way, I can see where the Israelis are coming from. That the people of Palestine have been launching rockets into their region, and if someone was launching rockets into your country, you'd be a little bit pissed off too. And you'd want to make them hurt back, I guess. For every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. If someone's going to shoot rockets at you, you're going to want to punch them in the face. You're going to want to make them hurt. Especially if they're shooting rockets at schools and so on and so forth. But Israel has not handled this in the best way. But that brings you to Palestine, who has definitely not handled this the best way either. So essentially, I heard a great line, basically, saying that the Palestinians need sort of a non-violent leader. They need like a Gandhi. They need a Martin Luther King. They need someone to bring these people and unite these people in a non-violent cause. And if they did that, they'd probably get everything that they wanted. I mean, you can imagine how bad Israel looks now and how much worse it would look if these Palestinians were protesting through non-violent methods, using non-violent means, and the Israelis were doing the same thing to them, you can imagine how terrible they would look on the world stage, how much sympathy the Palestinians would get, and then we can make huge leaps into solving this issue. But instead, they've chosen the violent means, and they've used terrorist tactics. They've been launching rockets into Israel, and that has only forced a military kind of response from Israel, making them mad, making them want to make these people hurt, want to make these people suffer. But the one thing that Israel has done very poorly is they've taken everything essentially from the Palestinians. So now they have no society, they have nothing to lose. And a friend of mine gave me some great wisdom one time, that a person with nothing to lose is the most dangerous person you could ever hope to meet. Because a person with nothing to lose has no reason to restrain themselves. They've got no reason to move to radical extremist elements, because if they've got nothing to lose, then they've got everything to gain. And to them, the only way they're going to gain that is through these radical methods. These radicalists are promising that they're going to bring, Palestine up. They're going to be able to defeat Israel. They're going to be able to overthrow them. And because they've got nothing to lose, they join up with these terrorist elements. And the more they hurt the more the Israelis hurt the Palestinians, the more people are going to be going over to that extremist side. Because again, more and more people are going to realize they got nothing to lose, everything to gain from joining these radical elements. So they're just creating more and more problems for themselves, but at the same time, the Palestinians are creating more and more problems for themselves. So it's a colossal, just endless cycle of violence and destruction. And like I said, I think the best way to solve it is for the Palestinians to adopt non-violent methods to get what they want, to achieve what they want, instead of trying to blow people up and hurt people, because they're only going to get hurt back. To me, that's the best way that we can have, some kind of resolution to this issue, because I personally cannot think of another way to really resolve this issue without, foreign powers stepping in. And already there's got enough intervention in that region. There doesn't need to be any more intervention in the Middle East, especially with Israel, because having the U.S. as backers to Israel has just totally thrown off the power balance in that region. Now all of a sudden, that you've got this little kid who has got way too much power than he should, and now he's just using that power to pick on everybody else. Now, it was easy to sympathize with Israel when they were being picked on by all the Arab nations, but now it's the other way around. They're picking on everybody else, and it's much harder to sympathize with them. And now, with the U.S. continued support of that country, they're only just throwing the power balance off more and making this region just fester into this cancerous sore that is constantly sprouting problems and constantly sprouting symptoms. And personally, I believe the best way to stop the issues we have in that region is to deal with this Israeli-Palestine issue, because so many of the problems in the Middle East are spawned from or related to this issue. Anyway, I got that out of my system. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you've got a different opinion, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. This is going to be Joseph Fiswano signing off for now, and I'll see you guys later.